Now, sticking with Donald Trump for a moment, the Democrats in the US held their convention today, or they started the first of several days, to formally make Joe Biden their nominee against Donald Trump in the November election. It was a bit low energy. It's all online because of the virus, no crowds. But day one featured high-profile speakers like Michelle Obama, wife of the former president, claiming that Trump was a health menace in this pandemic.
If we have any hope of ending this chaos, we have got to vote for Joe Biden like our lives depend on it.
But actually, there's another life-threatening chaos that might be on the minds of many voters, just secretly, a chaos that I think makes Donald Trump perhaps still the favourite, although every poll says is still behind, closing, but still behind. That is the chaos, is the months of violence and arson by Black Lives Matter protesters, often backed by or not condemned by the Democrats and the media left. You've got mobs burning down police stations even. They call them precincts.
We're watching it go up in flames right now. I just wanted you to hear the sound of people cheering as the third precinct appears to be on fire.
But I want to show you now some new video that I think will crystallise this chaos in the minds of many voters, making them privately think that Trump, not Biden, will at least put down what is, in fact, a kind of civil war. And again, warning, this is very confronting. It shows another of the pack attacks by leftist mobs that we've seen so often in these race riots. And they've got a race dimension to them, I believe. But this footage from Portland is particularly distressing. A Black Lives Matter mob stops a truck driver. He flees in fear. He crashes. He gets dragged out of his truck. And the full video shows the mob keeping him prisoner, beating and kicking and abusing him. Here's just the tiny bit of it, including the final kick that put this guy in hospital in a serious condition.
I ain't trying to hurt no one down there.
What you mean you're not trying to hurt nobody?
You're trying to get us.
Shut the up.
I won't show you the whole lot, but Donald Trump is now playing on the understandable fears of many voters.
No one will be safe in a Biden-run America. Biden and Harris are pro-crime and anti-cop. There's no other way to say it. And we're anti-crime. We are pro-cop all the way.
Joining me is Jenna, Clarke, assistant editor of the West Australian newspaper, and Fiona Scott, former federal Liberal MP and government relations advisor. Jenna, how do you think this election is panning out?
I think we're going to see an absolute replay of 2016, Andrew. We saw today a really flat, as you just mentioned, a really flat DNC convention kickoff. Sure, we had Michelle Obama, who gave a very rousing, quite emotive speech, and it was all about empathy and unity and things like that. But I think the one thing that the Democrats are failing to do, and they've failed to do since 2008, is actually enunciate why they want their specific candidate, whether it be Hillary Clinton or Joe Biden now, why they want to be president. And that's the one thing that Donald Trump does time and time again. And that's where it's going to cut through. So I think if we think that Trump is now the underdog, I think we'd be definitely very wrong.
Fiona Scott?
Look, I must disagree. I think Trump probably is the underdog, but that probably actually works well for Trump to be the underdog, because in many ways, like we saw at the last election, it was a matter of getting the vote out. Now, if the Republicans come out and vote in force for Trump, then because it's not a compulsory voting system, that can be one of the most important things, whether it makes or breaks it. But look, I find commentating on American politics challenging insofar as, can you believe anything you read? Because all of the media is so slanted one way or another. A lot of it is full of absolute rubbish. And secondly, who's ever got the polls right over there? You know, you see sensation.
But you're so right. It's a country of, 330 million, and the polls are really small. How the hell do you trust any of them? And from our point of view, trusting the media over there, our media, generally left, generally reading papers like the New York Times and the Washington Post, which are virulently anti-Trump, how can we know that they have any idea what really is going on?